أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم اللعين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. يا إخواني وأخواتي, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dear brothers and sisters, may the peace of Allah be upon you, inshallah. So, still in the book, The Malay Art of Self-Defense, Self-Defense in Indonesian and Malaysian language, Seni Beladiri, Silat Senigayong by Sheikh Shamsuddin. So, in chapter 13, there is some interesting points about the Kriss. So the Kriss, for those who don't know, is the most iconic weapon of the region. So this is what a Kriss is. So there is a distinctive shape, which is primarily for giving penetrating blows. So in fact, there is some straight Kriss also, which are based, if you see in Mother Nature, on the rostre, in French, rostre of an espadon, of a fish, swordfish in English. So the espadon in English, which have an interesting Greek name. For those who don't know, it is Cephias gladius. So in fact, two words. The scientific name of the species is made of a ancient Greek word, Cephius, and a Latin word, gladius. And the two are in fact sword, blade made. In fact, even the word Cephius in Greek is related to the Semitic word for sword also, safe, seifun in Arabic. So it is a very interesting point. It's like the Kriss embodies the essence of the thirsting weapon. So with the time, the sword with curvation were born, but originally a sword was meant to penetrate. And now you have both. You have slashing swords and you have also the ability to penetrate. But for a long time, in antique time, weapons were primarily made for one function. Hello. So, returning to the text, the Keris, sometimes spelled Kriss, is a distinctive double-edged, wavy bladed dagger with blade length ranging from 5 to 30 inches long. So I think I have also small one. So I got also another Kriss. It is curved too. I also seen some straight Kriss, and they are from various lengths. So from 5 to 30 inches long. The Kriss vary to a large extent in shape and size, depending on local flavor. The primary use of the Kriss is for thrusting. So it can cut, but its main effectiveness is in thrusting. So to penetrate inside the body, rather than slashing. The Keris is the principal weapon used throughout Malaysia and Indonesia and is regarded as the national weapon for both countries. It is also widely used by Silat practitioners in the Philippine Islands. So many forget that the Philippines were in communication and were genetically influenced also by Nusantara, and this is a part of Nusantara. In fact, this is a part of archipelagos inhabited by the Indo-Malay subgroups, mixed very well with Philippine. Before the invasion and colonization of the Spaniard. It is also widely used by Silat practitioners in the Philippine Islands. So in fact, in the Philippine Islands, there is a Silat tradition too, which influenced what is called Filipino martial arts. The origin of the Keris is rather uncertain. Some say that the weapon have Indonesian characteristics with the influence of Indian weapon, which were transferred to the Malay Peninsula. The Keris is a hallmark of social and cultural distinction. It has become a royal sovereign symbol, particularly as ceremonial dress. For instance, a unique Keris is used in the ceremony of establishing a new king of Malaysia every 5 years. So I didn't know about that. Maybe I didn't understand correctly the meaning, but it seems that every 5 years the king is changed in Malaysia. I don't know, but it is what I understand from the text. So figure 13 shows the 12 king of Malaysia, Tuanku Sayyid Sirajuddin Ibn al-Marhum. So I don't know if it is meant to Tuanku Sayyid Putra Jamalail. So I don't know if they actually link this sovereign to a descendant of family of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa ali. In fact, Sayyid normally is a title for direct descendant from the paternal side of Prophet Muhammad. So people accepted as such. And it is quite possible too. But I don't know. It is used as an honorific for the function, or also have a straight link to that tradition of Sadat, of straight descendant of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa ali. In the marriage ceremony, the Keris is worn by the groom and signifies a status of Raja Den Permaisuri Sihari. Sorry for my poor Malay. King and queen for a day. Most Silat grandmasters usually own a distinctive Keris with a special design. So custom design from usually for the masters of Silat. Within Silat, any special ceremony will always include the Keris. It is customary that when learning Silat, you will also learn how to handle the Keris properly. In any Silat, you learn the Keris will always be a part of the syllabus. There is an old saying, opening of the quote, a Silat without a knife or Keris is not Silat. And that's why all techniques in Silat are weapon oriented. Even where they are not in the hand of the practitioner, they can translate. So when you have a golok, for example, you can, and when you don't have, your arms and your hands don't interfere with each other. So this is a way to add layers of security and mastery when you practice martial arts. It's you. If you learn a system that is only main as a ring sport and you switch to a weapon you found in the ground, you are a danger for yourself because you don't master a proper way to handle bladed weapon, and it can turn against you. There are many superstitions and fables associated with the Keris. For instance, many people have heard that the Keris will rattle in this sheet to warn the owner that danger is approaching. The Keris is said to have the power of Tuju Tuju, similar to sorcery, which is highly feared by Malay society. Whatever it is, this power can be either beneficial or wicked. So different kind of vibe and vibration, and it is well known that the bad intention result of return of bad karmic characteristic, and the good intention, even in the field of Islam, it's granted with benefits straight from God. You don't have to be a witch or a sorcerer to understand this basic influences. In the 15th century, the legendary warrior Hong Tua was known to be the owner of the distinguished keris called Taming Sari. So a keris that it's snatched in the court of the Sultan of Malacca from an Indonesian, if I remember correctly, the biography, warrior who defied him after insulting him. It was said that anyone who possessed this keris would have the power of invincibility. It was this little keris that killed Hong Tua childhood friend, Hong Jebat. So the story of Hong Jebat, a touching story of an individual who didn't choose to sacrifice friendship for the honor of a king and defied a king, but found the death in the hand of his best friend, the same friend he defended, which is in fact Hong Tua. Hong Tua killed Hong Jebat, and Hong Tua regretted his behavior and vanished from the society. So we don't even know where he's buried, but we know where is Hong Jebat is buried. And inshallah, if I've got the opportunity to move one day in Malaysia, I will pay homage to Hong Jebat, also Hong Tua, but I feel that Hong Jebat can win at 2 occasions the confrontation, but spared his friend. Hello Karim from England. مرحبا. So Hong Jebat was disloyal to the Sultan of Malacca, a sultan which killed his best friend recklessly. And so I hope Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will extend the governance of Al-Mahdi al-Muntazar as soon as possible, because we can't count on viable kings of the day. And this is a lesson that Hong Tua learned by killing his brother. So 2 heroes, 2 faces of heroism in the story of the fight of Hong Tua and Hong Jebat. Every Kriss has a story. They are tales of adventure, nobility, tradition, and romance. Traditionally, a real keris is used during practice. You must focus sharply on what you are doing. Any small error may cause a great deal of harm. So harm, which means in English to hurt, is in fact derived from al-hurma, which shows with impact, sanctity in Arabic. Harm, it's in fact to touch, like haram, it is the same root, is in fact to touch something which has a sanctity. So to deteriorate something in its dignity or in its physical form. The first stage of learning the Keris in Gayong is to learn all of the Jurus, basic movement. Next, you will learn the Keris pentas, present counter and recounter movement. So the Jurus, for those who don't know, are forms, are like kata-like forms in Panchak Silat. So it embodies the essence of movements, and it helps to synchronize the physical body, the mind with repetition, the muscular sensibility, the neural system, neurological system, and flow. So Jurus is very important in transmitting Silat. When I see, for example, this kind of books, so it's like French Panchak Silat, without any Jurus inside, only some techniques. In fact, there is a small introduction. After that, there is only photo techniques of some moves, specific stuff. It is not like this that you learn Panchak Silat correctly. A Silat, you must have like a syllabus system. You have to learn letters by letters, like in the Arabic. You have to understand basic form of the letters, intermediate forms of the letters, opening forms of the letters, and closing forms of the letters. And from that, you can build kalimat, words. You can build sentences. You can have hiwar, dialogue with the opponent. You can make conclusion, khatima, or introduction, muqaddima. And with the European materialist approach of martial arts, you lose all of that. You just have a compendium of some moves, not even really techniques, some sequences, closed sequences, and adaptability in the art of martial arts is key. You have to adapt. Sometimes you are in a configuration, you can make a block. Sometimes from this block, you can miss the block, and you can counter and stuff like that. You can broke an arm and stuff like that. You have to be aware and switch your intent in seconds. And this is the beauty, the fluidity, the adaptability. It's a kind of fight IQ and intelligence. So the first stage of learning the Keris in Gayong is to learn all of the Jurus, basic movements. Next, you will learn the Keris pentas, present counter and recounter movements. So in fact, this is some setup with openings, reaction, and stuff like that, drills, which is really important also in Filipino martial arts, which is a parent of Indonesian and Malay martial arts. So you have a basic way to fish, like to the swordfish, the espadon, which give also espadon. This is a word, the name of the swordfish in French, and you'll find it spada, which means sword in Spanish, and also spadon maybe in Italian. So in fact, you fish. You open some gate, and so you can make counters. By opening, you facilitate the use and the direction of the narrative in one scenario you choose. So this is very important in the art of Silat. There is a kind of deception and trapping by opening gates. And so, So the first stage of learning the Keris in Gayong is to learn all of the Jurus basic movement. Next, we will learn the Keris pentas, preset counter, and recounter movement. From pentas, extend all sorts of technical variation that are considered buha Keris. Buha mean fruit in Malay. So there is a question from Lemur, which is maybe in English and in French. So this is the question of the man: am I Shi'i or Sunni? Donc for those who don't know, because I had many operation even in some TV show, notably in Iran and also in England, maybe around 2015, which I make presentation of me and stuff like that. From a family background, I'm half from a Shi'i father and from a Sunni mother. So a Shi'i father from southern Lebanon, Shi'i Ithna Ashari, so a 12 family of Sadat, of straight descendant of Prophet Muhammad from southern Lebanon. And from the mother side, I'm my mother is from Algeria, so from a Sunni Maliki Sufi family, head of the Tariqa Nasiriyya Shadliya in Algeria. For those who are interested in my background as an inheritor of certain kind of tradition in my family background. So for those who don't know, even from a mother's side, from a family descendant of Abd Salam bin Meshish, which is a descendant of Idris al-Awwal, and also a descendant of Imam al-Hasan al-Mushtaba, Sibtu Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa ali. So this is my detailed answer for the question. Next, we'll learn. So sorry. There are varieties similar to the variation of Bua Kunchimati body lock techniques. So there is some variation. So the setup can be the same, but there is some variation in ending some movement or redirecting some. It is the beauty of the art. Art, martial arts must be adaptive. All is not carved in stone. When you encounter an opponent with a weapon and with a vast array of possibility that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to the human body in his build, in his rhythm, in his capacity of motion and stuff like that. There is an infinity of move. So you have to have a minimum of adaptability when you encounter an opponent. In Gayong, the culmination of learning Keris take place by the seaside, so around the sea, al-Bahr. At the end of the ceremony, all students join hands and walk into the ocean, about 4 feet deep, laid by the woman and submerged into seawater. So this is specific to the Gayong school. In Gayong, woman is the mother, the head of the dragon. Dragon, in fact, which is translated in Bahasa as Naga, I think. The plunge is done for a duration of 3 seconds. So there is a bath, like a baptism in Christian culture. This is done 3 times. When this is finished, Keris practice in Gayong is tamat, complete. Tamat is from the Arabic tamam, itmam. So to make complexion, a tamma, it is pure Arabic complexion of something. And it is now up to the individual to perfect their techniques. Figure 13 to 7 shows a Keris monument near Port Kelang, Selangor, Malaysia. So this is a monument showing the importance of the symbol. Further reading about Keris can be found in a book entitled The Kriss, Mystic Weapon of the Malay World by Edward Frey. Another book is Origin of the Keris, and its development in the 14th century by A.J. Maysay. So it's interesting detail to understand a little more the significance and importance of this specific weapon of the Mali culture, which is also recorded as an intangible heritage of humanity or stuff like that by UNESCO and cultural preservation entities. So this is a singular weapon of high significance. So there also one other thing to mention is that many Keris were in fact used with poison. So take big care when you use an old one, especially the old one, not the new batch, but the old one, antique Keris and Kriss can be are very porous because they use a kind of Damascus blade. They blend two or more metals, maybe sometimes three, with sometimes use of meteorite steel, and so there is a porosity with the age and the rust and stuff like that. So if they use poison on the blade, the poison can still be active. So you have to take care when you use especially the antique ones, because if you cut yourself with that, there is a potential danger that some highly efficient old poison was around the blade. So with discretion and caution, inshallah. So this is the end of this video. اللهم صل على محمد ومحمد. التمس الدعاء. الله معكم. إلى اللقاء. مع السلامة.